Hello, welcome back to the Imaginary Gallery. It's TJ again. This is a short, quick video. I thought I would share a little story involving recognizing a narcissistic personality disordered person or other clustered B monster in a social networking setting. The story I have is a true story. Has to do with a band I like. It's called VERUCA Salt. They had the hit Seether and Volcano Girl way back in the 90s, and I just took a very instant liking to them and their lyrics, and I kind of like related to them. And I knew it was two girls. It was Nina and Louise. Well, they were a band for a while, and then some controversy occurred, and Nina left to go solo, and then Louise, who is also from the same state I'm from, just a different city, she decided to keep the band going and got new members. Well, they had a new album out, which I got with the new members, and I really related to a lot of her lyrics. I just kind of felt like I know exactly what you feel, because they were nice lyrics. So I'm not like a passive music listener. Like some people just turn the radio on and whatever they have decided is going to play is what they'll hear. But like if I drive in the car, no. That time is limited. I'll have a specific disc or music collection I'm playing. I'm not going to leave that up to whoever decides what I'm supposed to listen to. So when I enjoy a band, I don't just listen to the music, but I study, learn about each member, which member plays what instrument. Learn to recognize the two different, like B-52s, two different girls' voices. I love Cindy Wilson's voice. I like Kate Pearson's voice. They sound great together. But the point is I liked the music, and the combination of their voices was a really unique thing. However, Nina left. So I understood there was some controversy, some kind of whatever. So the point of this was that I found out shortly after their Resolver album came out, they were touring. And of course it wasn't the original lineup, but it was Louise and her new band. Well, they weren't coming to my city, but they were coming to Chicago, which is a few states away. So I happened to have a friend who had a friend who lived in Chicago, so I said, hey, VERUCA Salt's coming to Chicago. Do you think your friend would let me stay there with her if I could see the show? And of course her friend liked them too, so it actually worked out wonderful because the girl lived there in her apartment with her boyfriend, and she loves VERUCA Salt, and here I am. So I figured, well, perfect, it's a party. So I went to Chicago, and I followed her directions on what to do and how to get there, all the different steps. I found her apartment, and then she announced, oh, guess what? Tonight, VERUCA Salt is having an in-store record signing at a record store right down the street. And of course, I was like ecstatic, thinking, oh my, I can meet them? Because I'm one of those people who worships idols such as rock bands, which is a sin or wrong, but they give a lot of pleasure. They're very nice. So I figured, you know what, this trip is getting better. Because I went there alone. I lived with that monster back then, but he wasn't coming. So I went on my own. And we won't even think about what happened when I was gone. But so we went to the show, but before we went to the show, though, we went to the record store signing. And I didn't have a CD or a record or anything, so they were passing out. They had like promotional materials for Resolver. So I took one, and I'd like meet them, and I noticed Louise, talked to her, and noticed the two other guys, and then there was a woman there. She was an older lady. She wasn't old, but what's old? She wasn't a teenager. And I read her name was Suzanne Sokol, and she was like an elementary school teacher, but she was doing this VERUCA Salt gig like as a temporary thing. So she was in the picture on like the album cover art. So she temporarily, I guess, joined the band, and I shook each one of their hands. She had long dark hair, and Louise was beautiful. I shook her hand. Talked to them just real quick because there was a line. So anyway, I got to meet them all of them. They signed my poster, which is now framed in my room. But well, months later, I checked my local newspaper, and VERUCA Salt was coming to a local bar in my city. So I thought, oh my, they're coming. I'm going to see them again because they were excellent. Even with Louise by herself, she does a great job of conveying the emotion of her songs with her guitar and playing it and all of it together. Oh, so I thought she's coming back here. Well, I was still with the monster at the time, so the 11-year monster. So I said, well, hey, VERUCA Salt's coming. Let's go see him. So of course we went. But I noticed on stage, Suzanne wasn't there. There was some younger, like teenage type girl doing the backup vocals and the guitar, the other guitar that Nina used to do, and I thought it was strange. Well, I just watched it. It was a great. Again, she sounded excellent. Louise Post is very talented, and it was a very nice show. So I was just again ecstatic in heaven, sitting there watching one of my idols again performing and hearing the beautiful sounds. But I noticed that other girl she had like a short little mini skirt and a t-shirt on, and I didn't recognize her. Well, a day or so later, I went on to a social media site. I don't remember which one, but something to do with concerts, because it was people commenting on the show. Well, keep in mind, Suzanne was the school teacher who was not here in our city, and there was some young girl there in her place. Because VERUCA Salt takes two girls, two chicks. They've got to do the harmonies. Well, I was reading the comments, and somebody said something like, "Oh, oh wow, I was at VERUCA Salt's concert last night. They were so good. Suzanne did a great job with her bass guitar and her vocals. She was so good." And I read that, and I thought, Suzanne? I met Suzanne, and Suzanne wasn't there. Clearly, this person was clueless. So I was thinking, you know what? Because I'm one of those people, if I see something that's wrong, like if a word is spelled wrong, I will want to fix it. Well, if somebody types something like that that's totally wrong, I want to fix it. So I was thinking, you know what? I ought to go get on there and say, that was not Suzanne. But before I could even do it, I looked, and bingo, somebody else beat me to it. Somebody else said, sorry, but Suzanne was not there last night. She's not touring with them anymore. And it turns out the girl that was actually playing, I think it was bass, I'm not sure, but she did backup vocals. Her name is Gina Krosky, and that's not Suzanne. But I saw that comment, which I was about to leave, and it said, Suzanne was not there. Well, that person who posted the original post, this is the toxic behavior, typed back, oh, yes, she was there. I was at the show, and Suzanne was there, and she was great. Well, again, I've met Suzanne. This other person obviously knows it wasn't Suzanne. So it kind of got, so I did jump in then. It's like, you know what? Hey, I know who VERUCA Salt is, and I've met Suzanne, and this other girl was not Suzanne. But the problem is the other person kept insisting that it was Suzanne, and it wasn't. And that shows you how these people are. They will not be defeated. If he says it's Suzanne, then it's Suzanne, even if it was Gina. And it's just kind of nasty. That's why they tell you to just leave if you're dealing with this kind of mess, because you can't get any rationalization out of them. But I just read that and thought, this person is retarded. Because I knew it wasn't Suzanne. The other person knew it wasn't Suzanne. And it wasn't Suzanne. But anyway, that's how they are. That's just an illustration of it. So look out for it. And if you see it on there, just ignore it. Because they'll just pull you into a big old labyrinth abyss. It's not worth it.